what you see on your screens, there's that exact moment during a rally. You see everyone standing around there listening to the former Japanese Prime Minister, and then they smoke. People go down because they can hear that loud sound. Shotguns make a lot of noise when they're fired. So you can see people immediately reacting, realizing something is wrong. Moments later, Shinzo Abe unfortunately collapses. Shot twice is what we hear from Christian.
I just got the news. So basically what we know, that there is a Japanese guy who lives in Nara, and he's in his 40s. That's the latest.
That's the suspect, right?
He's a Japanese guy in his 40s, which actually fits the profile of, you know, we've been talking about some attacks on the streets and that happened with a knife, usually in Japan, and that's usually the profile. It's usually a man between his 30s and 40s, and he's from Nara. So if he's from Nara, well, he was waiting for Abe, I guess. He didn't make a trip to go anywhere. Also, it's and
so he's
Abe
a local.
himself now
He's a local from Nara.
Yeah.
Okay, so and what's very clear, going by how this has happened, he's a local from Nara, waited for Shinzo Abe clearly to come to his city, knew that he was there, knew his schedule, knew where he was going to speak. This was clearly planned. This was an assassination attack. He used a shotgun to fire at Shinzo Abe from behind. His security was around him. You see them almost in front of Shinzo Abe. They're swooping in the moment the former Japanese Prime Minister was shot at. Like I said, you know, these kind of rallies are very common in Japan, to stand in the road, have a crowd gather, to listen to what you have to say, to your political message. And amid that, someone from behind, you can see Shinzo Abe essentially facing the camera in this footage. And from behind, you can't see the suspect, but you can see the smoke in the air. Shotguns make a lot of noise. And everyone going down, moments later realizing that Shinzo Abe was targeted. There was fired at. 2 shots to his chest from behind. He immediately collapsed. His security guards, in a matter of seconds, lifted him, took him nearby. He's been airlifted out and rushed to a hospital, is what we're being told. But it's not looking good, is it, Christian? Because the information that's coming in is that he's been non-responsive. He's not showing any vital signs.
Yeah, and he was already sick. I mean, that's the reason why he resigned. That's the only reason why he's not there. That's the reason why we had 2 elections the last 2 years. I mean, Abe was already sick, and he was sick as much as to have to give up what he's been doing for all his life, which is politics. So he had some intestinal problems, which is something the Japanese usually have this huge. It's very wide spread, this disease actually. So he was already weak as a person, and as a matter of fact, in the last 2 years, we barely heard him speak. We only had a few comments from him on the war and something else, but he was basically out of politics. And I honestly didn't even know he was going to go and have a rally in Nara by any stretch of the imagination, but he was.
Yep.
So I guess...
Christian, I'm just going to, my apologies for interrupting you, but the information we're picking up is that there's going to be a briefing shortly. In about 20 minutes from now, the Japan Chief Cabinet Secretary Matsuno is going to be briefing the media. What we're being told is that this is at about 4 GMT. That means roughly 9:30 Indian Standard Time. So in about 20 minutes, we're expecting an official statement there from the Japan Chief Cabinet Secretary. We're all, of course, going to be hoping the best for Mr. Shinzo Abe, but it's not looking good. The information that we're picking up from local media is that so far he's been non-responsive. We're going to await that statement. In 20 minutes from now, we're expecting the statement will be made by the Japan Chief Cabinet Secretary Matsuno. Also, Christian, you were getting us information that you're picking up right now about the suspect. Can you repeat that again for our viewers, what you've picked up so far?
Well, what we know is that this guy was using a shotgun, and it was apparently very close to Abe when he shot him, and aiming at his chest, on his chest, from behind. So left, he aimed at his heart, basically. And he was a local from Nara. He was a 40-year-old Japanese guy. And it was just, Abe was basically sitting duck for him, because, you know, it was just this guy from Nara, and he prepared, and he knew Abe was coming. He prepared his his plan, and he got as close to a few meters, which is incredible. Like we talked about it, like again, how can you get a few meters close with a shotgun in your hand? Unless the security, again, it's not either doing their job or they're just not very aware that something like this would ever happen, because as we said it before, these things don't happen in Japan.
Yeah, I know a lot of our viewers are asking the question of what's the condition of Mr. Shinzo Abe currently. What we can tell you is that he's been rushed to a hospital. We don't want to jump the gun, but the information that we have from the local media, and we're putting this out as responsibly as we can, knowing full well the situation at hand, is that Shinzo Abe collapsed soon after he was fired at twice from behind. Those pictures you see on your screens also of Abe lying on the road as the security personnel then lifted him. He's been airlifted out into an hospital, not showing any vital signs, unfortunately. He's been non-responsive almost immediately after the shooting, went into cardiac arrest. Christian was also telling us that he's been ailing for a bit. So let's hope for the best here, and let's hope that there's some update that comes in from the government on Shinzo Abe's condition as well.